Adoption is an opportunity many parents have to take in order to have a family of their own. There are those out there, though, who would blatantly refuse this chance of parenthood from potential parents because of either their gender expression or sexual orientation. They There are laws currently in place that allow adoption agencies to blatantly deny the adoptive process from queer folk through these legal gray waters. There are two key reasons that are legally allowed to be used as a means of denying the adoptive process to queer folk: that sexual minority parents are unable to provide a healthy childhood, and that they can mentally stunt a child. Both these claims are ultimately untrue and are unfounded and are blatantly homophobic, transphobic, etc. But despite the amount of offensiveness it might have towards these sexual minorities, it also ultimately hurts the child in the long run, as they are denied a chance of having a normal childhood. Anyway, for my first claim, I want to state that sexual minority parents are able to provide a stable childhood despite what agencies are able to legally claim that they do not. As of Dr. C.J. Peter from the Pediatric Journal of American Academy of Pediatrics, he had to say this: while research on these topics is relatively new, there is no evidence that the development of children with lesbian and gay parents is compromised in any significant respect relative to that among children of heterosexual parents in otherwise comparable circumstances. He, like the American Sociological Association, shared the same sentiment that queer folk can provide a stable home life for children, that they would not be limited from their maternal instincts, and that they will be provided the basic necessities that a child will need in order to grow in a healthy and stable home. Both these institutions use credible studies, such as the one by Professor Abby E. Goldberg at the University of Clark. She conducted a detailed study of lesbian and gay couples in their open adoption process. She basically detailed how both these types of parents had provided for their child and ultimately developed them in a stable enough environment for their child's projected growth through whatever constants they could relate the children to. They basically grew up without any big hiccups and that the environments that she had detailed, that there seemed to be enough emotional availability there and maternal instincts there to basically allow a child to grow in a normal way. For my second claim, I must state that sexual minority parents do not mentally stunt a child. Many agencies claim that if children are given to homosexual or sexual minority parents, that they will become mentally stunted in some way, that they will form a mental disorder because of their exposure to what they claim already is a mental illness. As of Ellen C. Parent of the Committee of Psychological Aspects of Child and Family Health, she had to state this on the issue: that in data published relating to 615 offspring of lesbian mothers and gay fathers and 387 controls by using psychological tests and interviews, conclude that children raised in gay and lesbian parents do not systematically differ from other children in emotional and behavioral functioning, sexual orientation, experience of stigmatization, general behavior, or cognitive functioning. She is basically stating how children did not develop any sort of mental deficiencies from their exposure to queer parents. She further goes on to state later in her study that children had capable maternal instincts, that they had basically not been affected by their upbringing, that they themselves could in the future give a stable home life to their either adopted or biological offspring, their kids. Agencies also concerned with their mental upbringing would be also concerned with their sexual identity, as they often view this as a mental disorder as well. This is ultimately offensive, but is still a legal claim that they can state. Although maybe not with that wording, they can legally state that this will cause this child to become mentally unwell. This is unbacked. Anyway, Dr. Tasker Friedman, hosted by the American Sociological, had to say this about this: that as such questions regarding child's adjustments, in particular gender role development, gender identity, and future sexual orientation, had been voiced in debates about the sustainability of queer people as parents. On the contrary, research has consistently failed to uncover any empirical justifications for these concerns. Further on, he later stated in his work that several concerns have been raised regarding gender minority people as parents, those who are trans or non-binary. that, including mental health issues related to gender dysphoria and minority stressors, transphobia, in this population, as well as the impact of parent non-conforming gender identity and expression on family functioning, parent-child relations, and child development. Nevertheless, limited research suggests that children of gender minority parents tend to show typical gender development are no more likely than their peers as cisgender parents to be diagnosed with gender dysphoria. Finally, denying children the ability to be adopted by queer folk denies them basically the chance of having a normal childhood. They are denied basically a stable financial environment and emotional support. In a poll of participants by Abby Goldberg's study, she stated that the common mean family income was $141,908, a pretty sustainable amount to have a child, and that in Ellen C. Perrin of the Committee of Sociological Aspects of Child and Family Health, she had stated that children should not be deprived of the opportunity for temporary foster parents or adoptive by single parents or couples, irrespective of their sexual orientation. Public policy and community support are vital to the success of children in these circumstances. Basically, we shouldn't deny queer folk from the adoptive process through our own belligerent ideals. We shouldn't allow old ideas to prohibit children from their future. It's ultimately something that hurts the child, and if we really do have the child's best interest at heart, then we should allow queer adoption. These laws that allow agencies to discriminate against queer adoption should be abolished. Thank you.